I have intonated my new bridge with these original strings. But I want to mention that this bridge that came with the unit is devoid of springs and spring retaining wires that they used to have on the front over here. Much better bridge. It's not a BM003, but it's well made. I'd be surprised if it wasn't made by the same people who make the BM003 in Korea. They just didn't stamp it. And instead of, you know, the roller saddles, they just put the blade saddles in there. Now these blade saddles are also a little bit better than they were. There's a tiny little bit of jiggle in them, but that happens all the time. Same with the rollers. But once you get the tension on them, you know, they stay in place. And I just was noticing that the chrome in the slots for the strings, on a couple of them is sharp, and a couple of them they're not. So, you know, with a small triangle file, just taking that little bit of chrome pip out of there that grabs the string would make this a usable bridge for people that, you know, like this style. Don't have to worry about that with the rollers. There are no sharp spots. So before I take the strings off, I wanted to take a look at the electrics to find out, like, what's wrong. In places. Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is not the box switch. This is the standard Gibson style Epiphone style switch. Very good. This, let's see what happens if we try that corner. Also not so good. Let's try a screwdriver. I think I can get it in there. There. Pop. Oh, they've got quite large size paper capacitors. So there you go. You got the large size pots, large size paper poly something capacitors, and the standard Gibson switch. It's hard to see in this light, which is right there. Two wire pickups. Oh, there's a broken wire. Now, did that break when I touched it, or was it broken? Okay, it's broken from the questionable pot. Alright, let's try something. Let's see if I just solder that back on there. Will that solve the problem? Because now that capacitor doesn't have a ground, which would mean why it wouldn't be working. Let's just see. No attempt was made to tidy up the wires and to, you know, secure them in a nice little bundle. And that's pretty hard to get through there, so let's get that out of the way. Whew, what a mess. The soldering is so-so. It's not top of the line by any chance, but it's so-so. Okay. Let's just see. I'm going to plug the air bridge in over here, and then I'll run over to the amp. I'll plug it in there and see if this solves the problem. Yep. It's working. Those capacitors must be small, like 22s. Of course, they soldered them with the value face down. They're not. They're 47s. They're 47s, but they're not having a great effect like 47s usually do. They're acting more like a 22. When you build stuff, you're going to solder stuff in, you know, to make it easy for people that need to come after you, make sure that the values are up if you can, you know, make that work. So what they have here is like black marker just around the edge on here. So it looks like it's a black marker, or a little bit of a black paint of some kind, just around the edge. The black that's on the inside is not consistent throughout. There are spaces where there's no black. I don't think it's shielding paint. I think it's just paint. Because if it was shielding paint, the back of these covers would be shielded. They're humbuckers, so it doesn't really need that. Yeah, there's no reading on that. If we go to, oh, it is a kind of a shielding paint. But very poorly done then. Because there's gaps in it. And it doesn't come all the way up to the cover, and these covers have not got the foil on the back like many of them come with now that are cut from a specific stock. They are chamfered on the edge, make it fit in the groove. Doesn't need to be chamfered the way that goes in there, because the edge is flat, so it could have been flat. Now all these pots should be connected together. Whoops, that one's not connected. Yeah, there it is. Okay. All right, so that is that's the problem. A broken ground wire between one of the pots to the tone pot. I need to reverse the wires between pins 1 and 2 on both volume pots in order to make them independent. And oh, by the way, I found in my stash Wilkinson 3x3s with the large tuning heads on them like this, but they're not locking, and I don't care. because I can lock the string with the luthier's nut. So I actually have them in stock. I've already paid the money for that, and I can use them on here. Okay, so I'm just gonna start with touch up some of the soldering, and I'm going to decide. I got to go check the Leo James and see if there are 4 wires or 2 wires. Leo gave me everything. Oh, that's cut off. That's cut off. That's cut off. That's cut off. I don't know if it's long enough to get in there. And I can't tell from this if there are 4 wires. Let's see. Oh, Leo. You should have cut them off closer to the pot, buddy. Oh, and it's got the good style switch. Oh, and it's nice and solid as well. So that's a good switch. Tip is missing. He must have reused it. A neck of 839. That's quite nice. And for the bridge, ooh, a whopping 1536. So the Leo James telly has more windings on their pickups. Indeed. Yeah, 747. 8.3. And the bridge is a 10 something. Oh, 1161. So 1161 is pretty close. No, it's not, because this one's 15, isn't it? Yeah, it's 1533, 37. Looks like these Leo James pickups could be a suitable replacement. This wire could be too short. I might have to splice it. I spliced the piece of wire that was cut off the bridge to make it long enough to go back into the cavity. And now I'm going to remove the red wire from the other volume pot, which will be the neck pickup. So that's the neck pickup. Oh, and on this one they put a flat washer, and this is typically the kind of washer you find on tuners where they're rounded over at the top and then they're kind of sharp on the bottom. I think we can do better if necessary. They did sit a little bit high to get the knobs off the body, but it's better to have them off the body than on the body. Now to prepare these ends, we just need to have a clean iron and heat up the end of that wire. Make sure that the solder goes in the windings. And on the ground one, what I normally do is put solder up at the end, but leave it not soldered towards the sheath so that you have some flexibility to be able to maneuver it to put it where you want it. Okay, I'm going to take a break.